All power to the people. This is Kevin Rashid Johnson, Minister of Defense, Revolutionary, and the Communal Black Panther Party. I'm also a political prisoner who began as a social prisoner in prison in Virginia. I wanted to contribute to the webinar addressing the issue of political prisoners, particularly our elders who remain incarcerated and have been so for decades, many of whom were original Black Panther Party members, anti-imperialist strugglers against the institutionalized oppression of America, against the various peoples across the world. I want to speak to the issue of medical neglect and also begin with a spoken word piece addressed specifically to political prisoners, titled Free Political Prisoners. America has always denied holding political prisoners. They lied. From original Panthers to anarchists and anti-imperialists, they've always exiled, executed, or locked away those who were serious about challenging the status quo, removed so they couldn't show the masses the truth they know. How capitalism robs the working class and America the Great was built on a past of slavery and genocide, invented racism designed to divide. Everyone at the bottom with lies to hide. The corruption and abuse that still goes on, exploiting the entire globe, destroying homes, robbing third world resources, invasions, occupations, drone attacks, marginalizing blacks, assassinations that killed thousands more bystanders than actual targets, bombing weddings, funerals, and markets, and holy places which they managed to dismiss as collateral damage. Fact is, these soft targets are intentionally not missed because intended to sap the people's wills to resist. Internally, the poor and people of color marginalized, oppressed, nationalized, racialized. A system sustained by real organized crime, by violence and mayhem of the worst kind. This is why there are scores and scores of political prisoners and prisoners of war, right here in the USA, whom we must struggle to free today. Mumia, Jamil Alameen, Leonard Peltier, Herman Bell, just a few who for political reasons are kept inside of a cell. David Gilbert, Robert Hayes, many more confined since way back in the days. And for those who managed to get free, most soon died from deadly disease, contracted while inside. A roll call of some who died. Russell Maroon Schultz, Kathy Bowden, Marilyn Buck, Albert Woodfox. It wasn't bad luck. They were held until rendered frail and ill, deteriorated and forgotten, only then released from jail. Their memories must be revived, their praises sung. From the world's largest prison system, all must be sprung. Modern-day razor-wire plantations, continuing to assume a new generation of the people's freedom fighters, including this writer, and those that stand against the outrages the people deplore. Free all U.S. political prisoners and prisoners of war. I'd like to speak to the issue of imprisonment, political imprisonment in particular, and the lack of medical treatment, fair, humane, and necessary medical treatment that many of our political prisoners are subjected to, and many of whom have passed away because of being subjected to denied care for potentially fatal diseases, illnesses contracted while they were inside. Some of whom, through struggles of the outside people, the public, the masses, were able to be released, only to soon die afterward. Several of whom I named in the poem that I just read. Among them, Russell Maroon Schultz, Kathy Bowden, Marilyn Buck, Albert Woodfox. It's not by accident. And we can remember, if we look back following World War II, during the Nuremberg trials that were conducted and prosecuted by the United States, that many Nazi war criminals were placed on trial, and some were executed, many of whom were later absolved, but the crimes for which they were charged were crimes against humanity because of incarcerating people in concentration camps during World War II and during the Nazi rise to power in Germany, and allowing many, many people to die because of allowing diseases to fester and also allowing fatal diseases to run their course. As a result, America stood as if it were a beacon to address the issue of the crimes against these people, the crimes against humanity, and the loss of life that was allowed to happen in these concentration camps. And America stated that it would not allow anyone afterward to be absolved of those sorts of crimes, the same crimes for which they were holding the Nazis accountable. Everybody, including America, would be held accountable too under the Nuremberg laws or the Nuremberg Code. But today, America does the same. It subjects many, particularly political prisoners, to denied medical treatment, to lack of adequate medical care. And again, many have died and are suffering as a result. Myself, having been a victim of this sort of situation, I had been diagnosed with prostate cancer in October of 2021 and was deliberately left with this disease untreated for almost a year and a half, with the deliberate intent to allow it to spread, to metastasize, and to ultimately become fatal. This is a condition that has faced many political prisoners in America, and it's a condition that we must struggle against. And it's a condition that's faced in general by many people who are imprisoned in America's prisons, who are, again, subjected to substandard medical treatment and the lack of basic humane and fair conditions of confinement. So yes, we need to come together to raise our voices together, to free all political prisoners and to free our prisoners of war, and to demand the humane and the fair treatment of all adequate, modern, technologically advanced medical treatment. Dare to struggle, dare to win, all power to the people.